Megan Armstrong, and in May of 2018, I traveled to Costa Rica through the study abroad program here at Tarleton State University. I went with the biology department, and the course that I was taking was called Tropical Ecology. So this PowerPoint kind of goes through a little bit of what we did on our trip, some of the fun things we did, and then some of the more educational stuff as well. So it's kind of an overview of the trip, broken down day by day. We were there for quite a bit of time, so each day we would do a couple activities and then kind of slow down and have some time to reflect or do things on our own, stuff like that. So it wasn't a super jam-packed schedule, which was kind of nice. The first day we arrived in San Jose, we got there a little bit late, so we had a welcome dinner at the hotel that we stayed at. And then we were just kind of on our own. That evening we all kind of went to bed early, we were tired. We woke up day 2 and we drove to the Monteverde Cloud Forest Biological Reserve. That day we kind of just got settled. We did a short hike. We were all kind of excited to get out kind of into nature a little bit. And then that evening right before dinner we did a frog pond tour. Day 3, we woke up and I think we were all super duper excited. We got to go zip lining through the cloud forest, which was probably one of the coolest things I have ever done. After we got back, we did some volunteering there at the Biological Reserve. Day 4, we left Monteverde. We went down in elevation a little bit and went to the Children's Eternal Rainforest at the Costa station. It was a crazy bus ride on the way there and took quite a bit of time. So by the time we got there, we pretty much went out on a night hike and then had dinner. Day 5, we did lots of volunteering. We helped at the Costa station work on some trails while we were there, and then we also helped dig a canal while we were there, which was interesting. We did an afternoon guided hike on day 5, and then day 6 was kind of the same thing. We did a hike and some bird watching. Day 7, we left the Children's Eternal Rainforest and went to the La Selva Biological Station. We got there, we did a nature walk while we were there. Kind of a relaxed day, travel day. Day 8 was probably my second favorite day of the trip. We kind of had the afternoon at leisure, but in the morning we all went whitewater rafting. And it was absolutely amazing. That was definitely one of the highlights of the trip. Day 9, we had some issues at La Selva. They had a major tropical storm come through right before we got there. So we were unable to kind of get into nature at that location how we had expected. So we just traveled right down the road to Tirambina. It's another biological reserve nearby. We did a water quality project and then kind of went on a short hike there. Got to learn a lot about some of the plants and animals that live in the Tirambina Biological Reserve, which was really cool. Day 10, we kind of left the outdoorsy part of our trip behind us, and we went back to San Jose. On our way there, we toured one of Costa Rica's largest coffee farms, which was really cool. I don't drink coffee, so it wasn't as cool for me as everyone else. Everyone else got a bunch of free coffee and got to taste, you know, kind of what it was like, but I just kind of sat back and relaxed. It was really cool to see how coffee was made. I had no idea how much went into it, but day 11 was another very fun day. We went to Jaco Beach. A bunch of the people that went with us on the trip took surfing lessons on the beach, which was really cool. And then we kind of just hung out at the beach club all day, which was kind of nice after we had worked pretty hard throughout the trip. Day 12, we kind of just got to hang out in San Jose and do as we please. I hung out by the pool. Some people went and kind of ventured and toured the city, but some of us were pretty tired after a long 11 days. And then we had a farewell dinner that night. So this PowerPoint just kind of highlights, like I said, a few of the things that we did on the trip. I tried to include photos from each day on each slide. So you can kind of see here, we're all very excited down there in that lower photo. This was our first full day in Costa Rica. So we had just gotten to Monteverde. We took a big group photo by the sign and we were headed out to go on a hike. This photo here is me on the hike. And then this is my good friend Jarrett and I whenever we were actually on our way to Monteverde. So we got to hike through the cloud forest, which was really cool. This was the highest elevation that we were throughout the trip. So the diversity was, much, much greater here than it was at the lower elevations, which was really neat. And then like I said, we toured the frog pond that evening, which was really cool. I had no idea what to expect. I'd never been to a frog pond tour before, but we got to see a lot of really cool and some very venomous frogs. In captivity, obviously, we weren't in any danger, but it was very neat to see them. We went at night, so they were out and very visible, so it was pretty neat. That was day 2. Day 3, we went ziplining. So these are some of the girls that I met on the trip. We all got pretty close. We ended up rooming together for the whole trip, so we got to know each other pretty well. But as you can see, we already knew each other pretty well by day 3. Here we are ziplining. By far, I've been ziplining before, but by far this was the coolest thing I've probably ever done. We were crazy high in elevation, up above the top of the trees, and it was beautiful. We came back and had lunch after we went ziplining, and a bunch of us, as you see in this top photo here, helped the volunteers at Monteverde and the park rangers there. We helped to just rake some of the trails. A storm had kind of just blown through that afternoon, which is kind of standard for this time of year. There's lots of rains that just kind of move in throughout the afternoons. So we actually got rained on while we were doing it, but we cleared like 4 or 5 miles of trail that day. So we were exhausted, and it was very hot and we were very wet, but it was really cool. This is the one of the park rangers here in the front of the photo, and they were so excited to have us there. It was a very cool experience, very rewarding. So day 4, we left Monteverde and we headed to Children's Eternal Rainforest at the Pocosol Station. This was kind of the middle level of, I guess, elevation you could say, on the trip. So still very diverse, but just a little bit different scenery. Things looked a little bit different. This night was actually really cool. The drive to Children's Eternal Rainforest is probably the worst drive I've ever been on in my life. The whole time that we were in Costa Rica, we're on a huge tour bus, like a big charter bus, and I get very car sick, and all of the roads in Costa Rica are very narrow and very windy, so it was just not good. This photo here, you can see Dr. Schreibe, a professor in the biology department here at Tarleton. We had pulled over the bus because everyone was very nauseous and needed a break. And Dr. Schreibe kind of took advantage and went down to the river and was gathering some water samples. She was very excited, so she was kind of showing us what she was doing and how she was collecting samples and things like that. Once we arrived at the Pocosol Station, we all kind of got settled. We did a nighttime hike, which was absolutely terrifying. I don't do snakes and I don't like insects, and there were lots of both on this nighttime hike. So it was a little bit scary, pushed me out of my comfort zone a little bit, but it was very cool, and I'm very glad that I participated in it because we learned a lot on this hike. We got back, we were all exhausted. I think we were kind of just ready to relax, and the people at the Pocosol Station had told us that we had lost power. So as you can see in this top photo, we had dinner, which was amazing. The chef at this place was outrageous, but we had dinner by headlamp light that night, which was honestly kind of cool. Day 5 was a very cool, very tiring day. We went on probably the longest hike of the trip this day. The terrain at the Pocosol Station was actually pretty mountainous, which kind of surprised me a little bit. I didn't really expect it to be as difficult or as challenging as it was, but it was very rewarding. This hike that we did here, we hiked back to some natural mud pits, seeping up from the ground, kind of similar to a hot spring. It was really cool. We got to put the mud all over our faces, and it actually made my skin really soft, which was nice. But here we took a group photo of all of us at the mud pit, and this here is the park ranger that was kind of guiding us that day. Here you see Dr. Higgins. He's part of the biology department as well here at Tarleton. Later in the day, we helped with some trail restoration efforts again, just kind of raking trails, cleaning things up around there. So typically they don't get a ton of visitors at these biological reserves. So for them to have 18 or 20 of us at one time was absolutely incredible. We did so much work at these places that would have normally taken them